Hey, it's Wednesday, Robbie Fishing Q&A. Yay! G'day everyone, welcome to Wednesday and welcome to Robbie Fishing Q&A. I've got quite a few questions to get through today, so I'm not going to stuff around too much, I promise. I'm just going to get straight into it. Okay, now let's get to the start of things. Okay, this one comes from Patrick. Hi Robbie, would like to know what length and weight rod you use for soft plastic fishing for trout and redfin and what jig head size. Thank you Patrick. My fishing rod and reel combo can all be explained in this link up here now. And as for the jig head sizes, well, I use whatever jig head I can get away with on the day. I like to use the smallest possible jig heads that I can get away with. If the creek or river is low and there's not too much current, I don't need to cast too far, I'll use a really small jig head. If I'm in a lake and I need to cast a long way out, then I'll use a large jig head. The smaller the jig head you can use, the better, but you don't want to sacrifice too much casting distance, and if there's strong current, you don't want to sacrifice your lures by having them washed up into the snags with a really light jig head. So basically, rule of thumb, when choosing a jig head is to choose the smallest jig head that you can get away with on the day. Thanks very much for the question, Patrick. Now, we have a question here from Adam. Hello Robbie, me and a few mates are having a week on a houseboat on the Murray River around the end of October. Just wondering if you have any tips on lures or bait if you were likely to catch cod or other fish to target. Thanks, keep up the videos, we love them. Adam, I'm not going to go into too much detail about Murray cod because October is the closed Murray cod season and it is actually fully illegal to target Murray cod. So in October, in the Murray River, don't target Murray cod, because if the fisheries man catches you and he says he thinks you're targeting Murray cod, he's going to throw the book at you. So leave him alone, and even if you're not likely to get caught, you're better off to leave them alone. Let them spawn, let them breed up and replenish some of the fish that have been killed in black water events and by fishing pressure. So Murray cod are off limits during October. If you're in a section of the Murray River that's got yellow belly, try using live shrimp, worms or small yabbies for bait, mate, and I hope that helps. Thank you very much Adam for that question. Rightio, next question here is from Mark. Hi Robbie, I'm looking forward to Q&A. As you have a love for vids and photography, have you thought about having the green back screen? It'll go well in your shed studio. G'day Mark, I'll have to Google the green back screen. I've heard other YouTubers talk about the green back screen. I've heard bits and pieces of about the green back screen. I've never really put much thought into it. I'll check it out. Thank you very much for the suggestion, Mark. That's really cool. Okay, now I've got a question here from Sav, from Severia. I spoke to Sav on the phone a while ago on his birthday. Really nice guy. Okay, normally I like to explore different stretches of small streams and always look for more hidden streams every season. But out of curiosity, how long do you think it is appropriate to wait until you catch a fish in the same stretch of water again? I have found that you can fish a creek the day after you fished it and you can catch trout. But what happens, they become more and more cunning. I use Easter as a good example. At Easter time, the people that go fishing for trout, that get there on Good Friday, are going to have the best catch rates, going to have the best results. By Saturday, people are fishing water that was fished Friday. By Sunday, the fish are that scared and educated that you won't get any. And by Monday, well, you might as well pack up and go home early. So the longer you leave it, the better it's going to fish next time. By all means fish it the next day, but just be prepared to work harder for your fish because they're going to be a bit more switched on. That's a great question, Severio. Thank you very much. This one is from Sander. I've got a question for you. Are you going to go fishing with Shane Orr anytime? I remember him from the Murray Cod Crayvids. Shane Orr has been in a couple of my videos and he is a cracking fella. He's a really good friend of mine, old Slug Guts. We used to call each other Slug Guts and ET. Don't ask me to explain about the ET. But we were forklift driving mates for a long time, and I actually took a photo of that comment and sent it to him, and he said game on. So hopefully this winter we can get back down there and make a sequel to that video that we made last time, which has racked up a lot of views. Must be Shane's presentation in front of the camera must have done that, I think. Thank you, Sander, for the suggestion. That's really good. Or the question, suggestion, tip. I'm not sure, but it's going to happen. Rightio, now I've got a question from Luke Dempsey. Question for Q&A. Do you enjoy saltwater fishing, and how often do you get the chance to fish for saltwater? Plus your favourite saltwater species to catch. G'day Luke, I love saltwater fishing, but I rarely ever get to go. I am an absolute total novice when I'm saltwater fishing. I have no idea when I catch a fish. I still don't even know what it is. I am like the basic first timer every time I go out. I think I've been saltwater fishing once in probably the last 15 or 20 years, and I caught a mullet down at Lake Tyers. No, I didn't even catch it. The guy beside me caught it and gave it to me because I think he felt sorry for me. So Luke, that's fishing. I love it, but I rarely ever go. My closest saltwater fishing spot is a good 3 hours away from here, so I just don't do it very often. That's a really good question. One day I might go saltwater fishing. I might track down another YouTuber, see if I can organise a collaboration, and he can teach me how to saltwater fish, and then I'll bring him up here and teach him how to Murray cod fish. But to answer your question, Luke, I don't go saltwater fishing very often just because it's so far away.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Rightio, I've now got a question from Darcy Watson. Hey Robbie, I love the vids. Have a question for your next Q&A. What is your opinion on the moon phase, and how do you think it affects your cod fishing? To be honest, Darcy, I've got some theories. I don't know whether they're right or wrong or true or false. When you're busy, you tend to just go out when you can. You go out any opportunity you get, regardless of the moon. Same goes for the barometer. Doesn't matter what it says or how high or low it is. If you've got time to go fishing, you go fishing. I like no moon. I find that when, say in summer I'm cod fishing, the fishing will be really good. Once the moon starts to come up, the fishing generally slows down. That's just a personal observation that I've made, and it might not be very correct. But the moon, on nights of full moon, I find that once the full moon sets in the morning, the fishing seems to improve. So just before we put so much thought into sunrise and sunset, but I think moonrise and moonset can be quite good times to fish as well. These are only my observations. They're not science-based, and they're not something that other people might agree with. I don't know, but they're my theories, and I'm sticking with them. I hope that helps. Thank you very much, Darcy, for your question. Rightio, now I've got a question from a loyal subscriber that comments on a lot of my YouTube videos. Check him out. He's got a YouTube channel called Italian Troutaholic. He just says, who's your favourite rugby teams? None. Sorry mate, I don't follow the rugby. I don't even follow the AFL. I used to many years ago, but I grew out of it. You know, I was in my early 20s. I started doing shift work and suddenly had more important things to worry about than the football. And now I just don't follow any code of football really. So, sorry to disappoint. Rightio, question from Connor's Fishing. G'day Robbie, for your next Q&A, I was just wondering what size wild bait minnow you use in streams. Thanks Connor. G'day Connor, it all depends on the size of the stream you're fishing, the size of the fish you're catching. Is there too much slime in the water? How deep is the water? There's so many variables. Usually I like something about 3 or 4 centimetres, something quite small. This time of year, autumn, when the trout are a lot more aggressive, I might like to go for something a bit longer in the hope that they'll hit it out of aggression, not so much out of hunger. So it's just one of those things that you trial and error. When you go out, put one on. If it's not working, try a different one. If a small one's not working, try a big one. If the big one's not working, try a small one. If neither of them are working, throw your tackle box in the river and let the fish choose for himself. It all depends. If you're in a river chasing bigger fish, mate, you might want to try a bigger lure to catch the bigger fish. But if you're in a small stream, like most of the streams that I fish, I like to use a small one, as smaller one as possible, to be quite honest.
Flight 019er, 2 miles northeast. Turn left at 90, maintain at 4,800 to establish an approach.
Rightio, now I have a question here from Link Ryan, and this is a great question. G'day Robbie, just a quick question. What is your favourite fish to eat? Keep up the good work. Well, thank you first of all for recognising that my work is good, or at least telling me it is. My favourite fish to eat, Link, is a nice yellow belly of around the 40 to 45 centimetre size. I find that little yellow belly under that, down around the 35 centimetre, can be a little bit dry, and once you get up over 50 centimetres, they start to be really fat, saturated in fat, and can be quite horrible to eat. A nice yellow belly, around 40 to 45 centimetres, from a stocked impoundment, which is sustainable. They put them in there for us to take them out, somewhere like Lake Nillacuti, Lake Eildon, Lake Hume. Nice yellow belly out of a stocked impoundment, about 45 centimetres, can't go wrong. After that, I love a feed of redfin, especially with a little bit of batter. You can use beer batter, I don't know. Sometimes I like to cook with beer. Sometimes actually put the beer with the food. Rightio, now the next question here is from Connor Hudson. There's two questions. The first question from Connor wants to know, do I think redfin are a great species for people to learn to fish with? Do you think redfin would be a good first species for people to target and learn about? Absolutely, Connor. Not only do I think redfin are a good species for people to target and learn about, I think redfin are the best species. They're easy to catch, kids love them, they're a popular species with younger people, and I'm just moving over here to get my head in the sun a little bit. I'm getting a bit sort of shaded out there. So thank you very much, Connor. I do think redfin are a fantastic species of fish for kids to learn about. Connor's next question. Secondly, I bought 5 packs of Striped Tiger 3-inch curltail grubs a while back. Do you think these would be good for redfin that are on average 15 to 20 centimetres long, or would they be too big? To be honest, Connor, I think redfin 50 to 20 centimetres long will be more than happy to hit your 3-inch curltail grubs. Personally, I prefer 2-inch. I would feel more comfortable with a smaller lure, particularly a Striped Tiger nymph or even one of the new bugs for a redfin around that size. But if 3-inch is all you have, don't let that deter you, because redfin of around the 15 to 20 centimetre size will definitely hit a 3-inch curltail grub. I hope that answers your question properly, and thank you very much for asking, Connor.
What happened to us? What happened to all the love we always took for granted? Are we stranded? Is it too late? Is it too late to come?
Rightio, now the next question comes from Wyatt Ryan, and it's quite a long question, so I'll read it out. I have a question, Robbie. I know it would be hard to get a good understanding of the area without being there, but I'm thinking of chasing some redfin in this lake in South Australia called the Warren Reservoir. It's very large, has a sand bottom and not many snags around, to my knowledge. Might be better if you look it up. My question is quite broad, I suppose, but what is the best setup? What lures or soft plastics would be best suited, and how do you know? Also, where would you look to be fishing in that type of area? I am land-based fisherman. By the way, thanks Robbie, I'm only asking because I'm looking to step up my game rather than always fishing for mud marlins. G'day Wyatt. It is a bit of a broad question, but I'll do my best. If I was to go over there and fish a lake in South Australia that I don't know anything about, I would not be going without a bright metallic coloured or bright fluoro coloured bladed spinner, perhaps a Super Vibrax or a Rooster Tail, or even the cheap, those, what were they called, Trollcraft lures that I used here recently. Something that's going to send off a strong vibration and be quite bright and vibrant in the water. I would also have some Striped Tiger 2-inch curltail grubs in white bait pearl colour. They'll work better if there's a bit of clarity in the water. They are dynamite for redfin. I would be looking for grassy flats in the lake if there's any, and I would be fishing those areas, casting continuous casts, as many as I can, and I would probably focus on the warmer months of the year. This time of year when it's quite cool, the fish can be hard to find. In saying that, I don't know that area at all, and it could be in a warm area, I don't know. But try a little 2-inch curltail grub, preferably a white colour. Try a bright bladed spinner, something that's bright and will vibrate hard in the water, and just cast as far as you can from the bank over the flat plains, and good luck. I hope that helps to a degree. Thank you very much for the question, Wyatt. Now, Seth Humphreys, just wondering, what size hooks do you use for redfin? Hang on, let me go back to Gary Harvey's answer on the other question before, because he answered that perfectly for me. Your hook size looks like a size 4 or 2 bait holder style. So try a size 4 or 2 bait holder style. That's Gary Harvey's answer. Check out Gary Harvey, Freshwater Fishing for the Future on Facebook. My answer would be a hook size about that big. That's my not so technical answer. One about an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch long, about a centimetre gap with a sharp point on the end of it. I'm not very technically minded, am I? Rightio everyone, this comes from LuBear0000. This is a really good question. My question is, with a light lure, do you add a sinker, and if so, how close to the lure do you put it? Thanks mate, informative and fun videos. This is a great question, LuBear. I don't like to add sinkers to any lures. I have done in the past and I'll do it if I have to. I find the sinker can affect the swim pattern of the lure quite often and make it really bad. And if the lure requires a sinker to help it get down deeper, then it's probably not a really well designed lure, unless the lure is specifically designed for that reason. I've never used them, but I believe the new Jackall dry gantrels have got a little clip underneath where you can clip a sinker on to help it get down. That's the design of the lure, that's fine. But if your lure isn't designed for that, I don't think you should need to put a sinker on it to make it swim properly. That's just my theory. And some lures, quite a lot of lures, the sinker can affect the action of the lure, so you've got to be a little bit careful about that. But some lures will work okay with the addition of a sinker, and sometimes a sinker is required for certain sort of techniques such as drop shotting, where you tie the sinker on the bottom and you have your lure up above so you can get your lure to work really deep. But as for just tying a sinker just in front of the lure to help you cast better, it's something that you'll have to trial and error, but just be prepared that perhaps the lure may lose some of its swimming action. Right, now the next question that I have here is from Josh. Hey Robbie, love your vids. What are your favourite cod lures and what areas do you use them at? This question is for the Q&A. Please respond. Okay, I'm responding. G'day Josh. My favourite cod lures, there's so many to choose from, and all depends on the day. Some days I find spinnerbaits work better than hard bodies. Sometimes I prefer hard bodies. Sometimes I prefer surface lures. So I'm just going to name a few that I've had a lot of success with. This year, the Old Mate diving lures have served me exceptionally well. I've had some great success with the Old Mate lures. Bassman spinnerbaits, particularly the Bassman DT in a fluorescent green or a fluorescent orange colour. I love those lures. I'm loving the Codger jointed surface lure. I think they're really good value for money and they're a great cod lure. They work very well. I also love the big Coolabung Cod Cracker, another fantastic surface lure. And this year I was using the Depths Buzz Jet for a little while, and the Depths Buzz Jet worked really well too. The Wilson Slickbacks are a fantastic lure, but they're getting harder to find. There's so many. The #1 stump jumper, good old faithful, you can't go past them, they always work. They work anywhere. Now where do I use these lures? I use them anywhere where I go cod fishing pretty much. I live in the Wangaratta area. Most of my cod fishing is around northeast Victoria and sometimes along the Murray River, and I'll use these lures in all of these spots.
All the feelings that have faded, complicated. I'm waiting for an answer, waiting for a sparkle to...
Rightio, now this next question is from Brooksy2576, and the question is, hey man, I'm just asking for a couple of tips. Good fishing. I'm down here. Rightio, now this question is from Brooksy2576. Hey man, I'm just asking for a couple of tips cod fishing. I'm in Mildura until Wednesday. I fished today with a JJ stump jumper and had no luck. Any tips what to do? G'day Brooksy, I really hope you mean next Wednesday, because if not, then I might be a bit late getting this answer to you. My best advice, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. They pop into the local tackle store. Go into the tackle store in Mildura and ask them, because the black water went through there last year. I'm not sure what long-lasting effects the black water has had. I'm not sure that there's many Murray cod in the Murray River down that area now because of the black water. So you're best off to get local knowledge from the guys in the tackle store, mate, because that black water was really bad. So for anybody heading down to the lower Murray chasing cod, my advice is to ask the people in the tackle stores whether there's actually any fish in there, and if so, what's the best ways to catch them. This next question here is from Nick Honeyman. Hey Robbie, I need some advice from a pro. I have been fishing for trout in a river overgrown with weeds. Every time I throw a Rapala or spinner, they stop swimming because they have reeds on them. Do you have a good lure that can get over the reeds and help me out? Thanks, and keep up the good work. Thanks for the question, Nick. Do a YouTube search on how to rig a soft plastic weedless. You can rig soft plastics weedless. I find when weedless rigging for soft plastics that the hookup rate is not as good, but it is a way to use the lure in really slimy, weedy areas. Failing that, try a topwater lure. You can get small little topwater minnows and stuff. I believe Cedar Summit make them. And you can also try dry fly fishing. Just try using something that's going to sit on top of the water above the weeds. But But definitely go and do a YouTube search on how to rig a soft plastic weedless. Rightio, now for the last question, I've got a special guest. My dad, Terry Alexander. You can say hello to these people because they're going to be looking at you.
Hello everybody.
You could have 1,000 people look. Now Dad's going to answer this question.
Now you know where he gets his good looks from.
Dad's going to answer this question. Flynn Cordell says, where can you purchase the Wilson Slickbacks and the Old Mate lures from Robbie? Love to be featured in your Wednesday Q&A. Thanks, Robbie. Well, I'll answer you. Where can they get the Wilson Slickbacks?
I was at Adventure Camping and Fishing in Wang last Thursday, I think it was, and they had plenty of them in there.
Adventure Camping and Fishing in Wang. Dad says they've still got quite a few in stock. As for the Old Mate lures, I'm going to put a link in the description below this video, and you can click on that link to find the Old Mate lures, and you can buy them online there. And if you enter the discount code Robbie Fishing, you will get 10% off that price. Failing that, I know Trally's Tackle World in Shepparton stock them, and I'm not sure who else stocks them. Now, Dad is 67. Are you 67?
Yep.
And he's just walked 10 kilometres. You see, I'm at Tamnick Gap on top of the Warbies. Just over there's a walking track that goes all the way out to Mount Glenrowan. It looks down over McDonald's and Glenrowan, and it's very hilly and it's steep. And Dad's just walked all the way out and back. If that's not inspiration for fat people like me, then I don't know what is. That's a good effort. You buggered?
I am a bit weary, yeah.